My name is Majibin. I am 16 years old. Outwardly, I am a very ordinary schoolgirl. But there is a terrible truth in my life. I see dead people. First I thought it was a fantasy. But now I know. They come. Quietly, slowly. Look. Don't say anything, but want something. The first day I saw her, I thought she was a lost girl. White dress, wet hair hanging down her legs. You can't see her face completely. She came slowly and said, "Do you see me?" I was shocked. She looked into my eyes and said, "Good, because my body is still there. Next to that old well." I ran back home. I knew no one would believe me. But I couldn't sleep. I keep remembering that girl's whisper. My body is still lying next to that well. The next morning after school, I went to the very end of the village. There is an old well there, covered in bushes, no one goes near it. The old people say, when it gets dark there, the Nishiras go down to drink water. I moved forward. Suddenly, a cold breath near my ear. "You're coming right. Find me." I was scared, but I moved the bush next to the well. Suddenly, a nail appeared. Then a hand. Then a body. She was dead. She had decomposed, but I could recognize the color of the clothes and half of the face. This was the girl. I was about to scream just then. That voice near my ear. "You see me, so they will see you too from now on." After returning from the well, I couldn't sleep at night. As I lay in bed and closed my eyes, I suddenly felt someone standing near my bed. I opened my eyes. No one was there. But there was a slight mist-like impression on the window glass. As if someone's breath. In the morning, standing in front of the mirror, combing my hair, my eyes suddenly caught my own eyes. These are not my eyes. There was a kind of emptiness in these eyes, a cold smile. I looked back, no one. Again in the mirror I was normal. I went to school even though I was scared. But everything changed when I got there. My friend Zara suddenly said, "Why were you looking out the window for so long instead of looking at us?" I was surprised. "I was looking at you," Zara said in fear. "Before you entered the class, someone who looked like you was standing outside the window. Exactly you, but the face was covered in a dark shadow." Understood. This time I'm not the only one watching. They're also seeing me. And they're not just looking. They're pulling. They want to take me into their world. It's exactly 3:17 a.m. Suddenly I found the door slightly open. I had slept with the door closed in the middle of the night. Cold air was coming in from the door and a kind of smell, like wet earth, rotten leaves. I got up and went to close the door. Just then my younger sister Meme stood quietly and said, "Didn't you bring him up from the well?" "Stop. Do you know how?" She smiled wide. "He lives with me now. He sleeps next to me at night. He told me today, 'Tomorrow it's your turn.'" I screamed and went to call my mother. But when my mother came home, she just said, "What did you say?" "Mim was hospitalized with a fever 2 days ago." "Do you have a fever?" Froze. "The one I saw in the house. Who looked like my younger sister." "Who was she?" Pushpin last seen. A familiar face appeared on the window pane of the house. "That girl from the well." She whispered, "Now your place is coming. And you will decide who among them will come to take your place." That night I couldn't sleep. I kept feeling like there was someone around me. The air in the house was heavy. The ticking of the clock was in my ears. And it felt like time was running out. In my sleep, I had a dream. An old door. On the other side of it, a room filled with black smoke. And 3 shadowy figures standing in a corner of the house. They say together, "You have opened our eyes. Now we have to give it to someone. Otherwise it's your turn." Shout. "What do we have to give?" They say, "Someone's life. Not you or someone you. The one you name will leave tomorrow morning. In our house." Shudder. I wake up and see that on one page of my notebook, I have written in my own hand, "Drop of blood, choose one. Before sunrise." In the morning my mother said, "You were sleeping at night, But in your sleep you kept saying, should I say Zara's name? Or Memes? I was stunned. I didn't say anything. So who was saying it? I stood in front of the mirror. My reflection whispered slowly. You won't give it to anyone. Then tonight, I'll take it. Whoever I can find. The next morning, Zara suddenly doesn't come to school. Everyone in the class says. Zara's mother said that she suddenly heard crying coming from her room in the morning. She goes and sees. Zara is not in bed, the door is open, and there are scratches on the mirror. There is only a piece of paper inside the room. Written on it. Drop of blood she didn't give. So we took. My body went cold. I didn't say anything. I didn't give it to anyone. But did they take Zara themselves? At night, I went and stood in front of the mirror. Zara's face flashed before my eyes. She was sitting in the corner of an old, dilapidated house, crying. She said, "You are my friend. You gave it to me?" I cried and said, "No. I didn't do anything. I didn't ask for it." Just then, the voice next to the mirror came back. "But you didn't take my name, that means you didn't protect me. Whoever we want, we will have." I sat in front of the mirror for hours. Occasionally, a light mist would gather on the glass of the mirror. And within it, I could see a room. Broken walls, rotten floors. And a girl, Zara. She kept looking. Occasionally moving her lips. But I didn't hear anything. At exactly 3:17 a.m., I stood in front of the mirror and said, "I'm coming, Zara. You won't be alone." Just then, the glass of the mirror suddenly shook. I raised my hand. And just then, my finger entered the mirror. As if it wasn't glass, but water. I didn't wait any longer. I entered the mirror with my whole body. Clapperboard inside the mirror. Everything is black, cold, silent. I am walking through a strange corridor. Names written on the wall. Tanim, Zara, Renu Jethi. Finally I see. Mehazabin. I am stunned. Just then a gust of hair behind me. Someone standing behind me whispered, "You have left. Now you can't go back." I am standing in the middle of a room like a maze inside the mirror. There is no source of light, but everything is visible. Strange faces painted on the wall. Some are laughing, some are crying. And the same fear in everyone's eyes. Suddenly a voice. "If you want to leave, you have to leave someone behind." I said, "No. I will not throw anyone away." I said, "Then you stay." I ran to find a way out. And when I opened each door, I returned to the first room. Again. This time someone was crying from outside the mirror. She was saying, "Majabin, where did my daughter go?" I shouted, "I'm here. Mom. Can you hear me?" But Mom was just looking at the mirror and crying. I wasn't in her eyes. My throat closed. Understood. This mirror was looking for me. Zara was just bait.